All right, welcome to our new unit, and we're going to be reviewing a lot of similar skills that we have been, just with a different text in a different setting. So the target for this week says, I can explain the theme of a text by analyzing what characters do and say and what happens to them. And the second thing we're going to work on in this video says, I can use context clues to define the meaning of a homophone set. You may be remembering what homophones and homographs are, and we're going to review that today. I'm going to flip my camera so you can see my journal. You should be doing the same thing, getting yours out and ready to take notes with me today. So as I straighten this out, you can title our page. You should be doing this on 5/13/20. And our first page of notes is going to be on theme. We're going to review it, and I'm going to give you a couple other things today to help you to identify the theme. In our target, there was two things. You can look for what the characters do or say. Do or say. That will tell you how they grow and what they learn. You can also look for what happens to the characters. Events in our life help shape who we are, and as you might remember, the theme is the heart of the story. It is the lesson that the author wants you to learn. Sometimes they call it the moral of the story. A lot of times in folk tales, they would call it a moral. We can also think of this as the central message. Or we also have talked about this as the author's message. A message in a story is what they want you to learn. So some questions we can ask ourselves is, what does the author want me to learn by reading this? Let's say the reader to learn. Okay, you kind of take some digging. Some things that you can also ask yourself is, how do the characters change or grow? That's a huge one we're going to focus on, so I'm going to put a star next to it. This week you're going to be reading about historical fiction, and that's the genre of the stories. So on the look fors up here, you can see what the characters do or say and what happens to the characters. That's huge on how did they change or grow. Okay, so in our genre of the week, that's going to be the main focus for you analyzing the text. Okay, on the bottom, we're going to write in some common themes. So in stories similar to the one we're going to be reading this week, you might find ideas about courage. Maybe the character goes off and does something that they wouldn't normally do, and it takes some bravery. So the theme might be courage. A big one that I like, I'm sure you know that, and one that a lot of people like to write about is perseverance. Maybe in the story, the characters, what happens to them is that they experience hardship, and then what they say is, I will continue to work, I will practice more, I will get past this. The theme might be perseverance. Some other themes might be like acceptance, loyalty. Let's see. Ooh, this one's a good one. Good versus evil. And the last one we'll do is, let's do like friendship or family. Okay, what did the main character learn, or how did they grow? So I'm going to flip over so you can see the practice page for today. I've already done one of them for you. It says, use the chart below to identify the theme of the story by taking notes on what the characters do and say, and what happens to them throughout the story. Hint, look for details that show how the main character grows and changes throughout the story. So I've done 2 of these for you. On this side, you're going to find 2 more details about what does the character do and say. So I didn't put direct quotes, but you can put direct quotes in here as well. It says, Libby says that she feels like a prisoner of war. So that's something that she's saying out loud, and I just paraphrased that. So that shows her feelings, and I'm sure you can find some more details as it goes through the story, how that changes, or maybe it just continues, and the theme is around that. And then on the other column here, you're going to say what happens to the character. So they're not saying anything or they're not doing anything, but something would happen to them. So on that column, I wrote, Libby's father has gone to war and her mother must now work. That's not necessarily the theme itself, but those details put together can help you identify what the author wants you to learn. So on the bottom, this is the part I'm really looking for. It says, based on the text evidence, what is the theme of the story? So you're going to need to use complete sentences and say, the theme of the story is... and then explain why. Okay. And then we'll flip back to our chart here, and we'll flip the page so we can start to practice our homophones. So the skill of the week is homophones, but what we're going to write about is homonyms. So here, write this word out. If you're doing this in your ELA journal like you should be, you should already have this. So we're not going to spend a ton of time, but we are going to review homophones. And then the other skill that we've learned this year is homographs. Okay, if we break that apart, the first part of the word homo means same. And then phones. At the beginning of the year, we talked about phonemes being the sound you make. Okay, and then we also talked about graphemes. Write that out for you. Very similar, and that is how it is written, or the spelling of the words. Okay, so for example, homophones are the same sound. So if they have the same sound, they're going to have different spelling. Same sound, different spelling. That's what we're focusing on today. All right, so on the second part, let's think. Same spelling. And it might sound different, but it might be the same. So same or different sound. The big thing to know about both of these is that they have different meanings. All right, so I'm going to write 2 words down on the bottom, and I want you to decide, are they homophones or homographs? So let's say the word rose. I rose from my seat, or I gave my mom a rose. Sorry, that was kind of weird, but I'm going to underline the same words there. All right, 2 different meanings. One means to stand up, and one means like flower. You might have guessed, but this is a homograph because they're spelled the same. All right, let me give you another example here. And I want you to tell me if it is a homograph or a homophone. I wrote my name on the paper. Okay, or I write my name on the paper. Oops. I am always right. All right, here's your two sentences. The words that I want you to compare are right and right. They sound the same, but they're spelled differently. So these ones are what the words we're going to be focusing on this week. These are homophones. Okay, one of them means to write, like I'm writing, and one of them means write, like correct. I am always correct. Okay, last part of our video today, I'm going to show you the assignment, and I'm going to explain what I expect from you. So it says that you need to explain your answer using context clues. Use my example to help you. So you're going to need to find where these pairs are in the text. So go back. They're very close to each other within one sentence. Read it and decide, what do each of them mean? You might be able to say, I already know the definition of need, but I need you to use context clues. For example, I did the word war and war. Spelled differently, have different meanings. Homophones. In the text, it says that the soldiers wore jackets. So this must mean to put something on their bodies. So I think the word war means to put something on their bodies. The text said they might need tools for survival in war. So this must be a dangerous battle between different groups of people, because if they need the tools to survive, it must be a dangerous thing. All right, your job is to reread and define each word, complete sentences using context clues. That's all I have for you today. So if you have any questions, please let me know, but it should not be too new for you.